how are you all? I hope that you are doing so good. And yes, we are going to start the NEET Premier League, that is NEET Biology Weekly Test Series, just like how I promised you that on Sundays there will be test series and there will be 30 questions. So yes, there are 30 questions. And where did I pick this 30 questions from? Obviously the previous year question papers, nothing, nowhere else, okay? And what are the topics that we are going to cover today? Male reproductive system, what? Spermatogenesis, female reproductive system, oogenesis and menstrual cycle. Everything that we have studied in the previous week, we are going to take a test of all this thing together. So you don't need to worry that ma'am didn't teach or I missed the class or something like that. No. If you were consistent, then probably you are going to give out all the 30 wickets in this particular test series. I'm pretty sure about that. Now, by any chance, if you were not able to answer the questions, please do not worry. It's me whom you have. You don't need to worry. We are going to solve the questions together. So with time, you will be good at solving questions as well. As of now, you might have the idea of concepts and stuff, but you might not be able to put it into application. But now, slowly, we will be definitely doing that as well. So let's start the battle for today. Yeah. The first question that we have is the shared terminal duct of the reproductive and the urinary system, the shared terminal. So something is getting shared between the reproductive and the urinary system. What is that duct in the human male? So there is urethra, there is ureter, vas deferens and vasa efferentia. Okay, starting with ureter. What is ureter, children? If you see, this is the kidney. The kidney basically carries the urine, drops into the urinary bladder. This thing that you see over here, this is the ureter. So I assume ureter just has the urine and nothing else. It has nothing to do with the sperm. So it is not a common passage for sure. So this is excluded. Next, vas deferens. If you remember, we had accessory ducts, right? Accessory ducts in males are what? EV. What is R? Rete testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis and vas deferens. So this is something that becomes a part of the accessory ducts that are responsible for carrying the sperm. It is responsible for carrying the sperm over here. Now if you want a picture of it, if you want to picturize things and then learn, then I am here to help you out. Just imagine that this is a testis. Yeah. Over here there will be coiled epididymis, or let's start from inside. There are seminiferous tubules and testicular lobules, right? They will be giving rise to rete testis. Yeah. Rete testis will be giving rise to what? Actually, they give rise to tubuli recti and then rete testis. Rete testis in short will be taking the sperms outside with the help of what? Vasa efferentia. There is a reason why I am explaining in detail. So, vasa efferentia is taking sperms outside towards the epididymis. So vasa efferentia is again carrying sperm, so it cannot be included as a shared terminal. It is not carrying urine for sure, right? Now going ahead, this vasa efferentia opens into epididymis and the epididymis goes up. What is this particular thing that you see over here? What do you call this particular thing? This is the vas deferens. Yeah, vas deferens goes and coils around what? The urinary bladder. So assume that there is urinary bladder also here, and the urinary bladder is opening into what? Tell me, the urethra. So this thing that you see over here, this is the urethra. Okay. So vas deferens, was it carrying sperm or urine? It is carrying sperm from the testis. Now it is going there. Now this vas deferens, no children, it will get one more secretion from the seminal vesicle, which is a gland. Both of them, they open together into something which is known as ejaculatory duct. Ejaculatory duct. These are carrying the sperm and the secretions, right? Now the ejaculatory duct opens into what? The urethra itself. Now you tell me, urine is there in the urinary bladder, sperm is coming from the vas deferens, there is a common passage. What is that common passage? It will be urethra. So the correct answer for this question has to be what, children? Urethra. This is the correct answer. If you want, I'll just mention it in a box. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Done? This came in the year 2014. Going ahead, what do we have? Let's see the next question. Why is it not going ahead? Okay. Fine. Yes. Vasa efferentia are ductules leading from. Chalo. Vasa efferentia ductules leading from where to where? testicular lobules to rete testis to vas deferens to epididymis to urethra. 2010 question. How easy it is, right? Aren't you feeling that boost of confidence? Like, oh ma'am, we studied everything, so easy. I feel that while teaching. So as I told you right now, if this is the testis has how many? 250 testicular lobules. Okay, TL. Remember the codes, TL. Now, each testicular lobules will be having 1 to 3 highly coiled what? Seminiferous tubules. These seminiferous tubules will be opening into rete testis. Sorry, tubuli recti we say. Okay, the spelling of tubuli recti is this. We never know when this question could come. That's why I am making you remember this. Okay, tubuli recti, and then tubuli recti opens into rete testis. There will be rete testis, and this rete testis that you see over here, I'll mark it. Rete testis will be exiting the testis. What do you call this structure as? Vasa efferentia, or with love you also call it efferent ductules. Okay, so if the question comes as an efferent ductules, please don't worry that, oh ma'am, we didn't study. It's the same thing. Okay, I told you in the class as well. So this is vasa efferentia or efferent ductules. What are they going to do? They are going to make a coil over here. This coiled structure that you see over here is what? It is known as epididymis. Epididymis. Now this epididymis will be opening up into vas deferens. Now the question is, vasa efferentia are the ductules leading from where to where? You tell me. It is between rete testis and epididymis. Is there an option like that? Okay, there is no option like rete testis to epididymis. Let's see what are the other easiest options. Testicular lobules to rete testis, no. It comes after that. So this option is wrong. Rete testis to vas deferens. So this is rete testis and here is the vas deferens. So yes, it is a connecting link, but epididymis comes in between. So let's keep it on hold. Next thing, vas deferens to epididymis. Vas deferens to epididymis, no need to come back there. Okay. So this is again wrong. Epididymis to urethra. Oh, do we need that? No. So what is the closest option that we have? This is the closest option, that is from rete testis to vas deferens. So instead of giving from rete testis to epididymis, they gave to vas deferens. Is it fine? Yes, it is fine. Now how can you remember the flow of things? As I always say, RV, EV. Okay. So there are two methods to remember it. Rete testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis and vas deferens. RV, EV, or just remember rete testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis and vas deferens. Since this E is there, it could help you understand. Since vas deferens is there, vasa efferentia is there, which one comes first? Vasa efferentia is there. Okay, that comes first. This is one way to remember the accessory ducts, the name of the accessory ducts, and after which you have ejaculatory duct and everything. I hope you got this answer as well, my children. Let's go ahead. If you want, you can take a screenshot. Well, you do not need to take a screenshot because I will be providing you the PDF as well. So you don't need to worry. You can just move on. You can just join this particular channel, that is WhatsApp channel that we have. There you will be finding the PDF as well. Yeah. Now, the seminal plasma in humans is, or basically are, rich in. Okay. What do you remember by seminal plasma? Think about that for a second and then let's go ahead, read the options. Okay, where does seminal plasma come? Think of that. Now, it is rich in fructose, calcium but has no enzyme, glucose and certain enzyme but has no calcium, fructose and certain enzyme but poor in calcium, fructose, calcium and certain enzymes. Now, I think I did this question in the 5 questions that were given every day, but yes, you can practice once more. That's not a problem, right? So, seminal plasma, children. Okay. Seminal plasma is basically the secretion of 3 accessory glands. What are those 3 accessory glands? We have seminal vesicle. Okay, there is seminal vesicle. There is prostate gland. And there is bulbo urethral gland, SPB. Okay, the first one is seminal vesicle. Now seminal vesicle is very much rich in what? Fructose. It provides the initial nourishment, it provides the energy for the sperm to move around. Yeah. Now prostate gland, it is actually rich in, it gives out calcium, and also it gives out certain enzymes which you call as what? Clotting enzymes. Why do we need clotting enzymes? If you remember, this sperm basically does not have to move inside the, inside the, what do you call, in the penis, right? As of now, during insemination, obviously it has to, but as of now, it can stay at one place. So basically, the clotting enzymes make the sperm stay at one place, does not allow it to lose the energy, because it needs the energy to go into the female reproductive tract and fuse with the ovum. So as of now, you gave the food, and now when babies are given food, they run around everywhere, no? Then again we have to say, oh, the energy, when it drops, they come back again to the state. So we do not want that energy to drop. Over here, we cannot feed the sperm, obviously. So basically, clotting enzymes are there so that they stop their movement for some time. Now bulbourethral gland will be there to provide lubrication. Okay. Now over here, apart from fructose, there will be enzymes also being released by seminal vesicle as well. There will be so many enzymes. Now, what is the thing that we can see? What is the seminal plasma made up of? It is made up of fructose, it is made up of calcium, and also enzymes. And also what? Enzymes. Let's see what option matches the best. Fructose and calcium but has no enzymes. No, it definitely has enzymes. Glucose and certain enzymes but has no calcium. No. Fructose and certain enzymes but poor in calcium. Everything is there. So, fructose, calcium and certain enzymes. And that is the correct option that we have. Now, you know how the answer also came through. Okay. I hope this is also done. This is the correct answer. This came in 2009, children. Going ahead. Question number 4. Which of the following cells during gametogenesis is normally diploid? Diploid as in it has what? 2n number of chromosome. Okay. The ploidy is double. Over here, n means what? The number of chromosomes. So assume human beings have 23 number of chromosome. 2 into 23, what do you get? 46 number of chromosome. So that is the question. Which of the following cells during gametogenesis, during the formation of gametes, is normally diploid, has the 46 number of chromosomes? So starting with spermatogonia, we have spermatogonia that is definitely diploid. Okay. It undergoes differentiation and forms the primary spermatocyte. Which is again diploid. Okay, which is again diploid because it is no division, it's just differentiation, it's just growth phase. Now this primary spermatocyte will start meiosis and will divide into two things. One is what? Secondary spermatocyte. Both of them will be what? Secondary spermatocyte. Okay, and here there will be half the number of chromosome, that is haploid. They will be haploid. Now this secondary spermatocyte will divide again, have meiosis. This is first meiosis, this is second meiosis. As in meiosis has two levels, right? There are two phases. First meiosis 1 and then meiosis 2. In meiosis 1, the number of chromosomes become half. That is why I wrote haploid over here. Okay. Now the secondary spermatocyte will again divide into what? Into spermatids. So how many spermatids? 4. All of them will be haploid itself because you already have the number of chromosome here. So now when they divide, it won't be halving more. It will be just the same. The second meiosis is just like mitosis. The number of chromosomes is not changed. So over here, what is the option that we have? Okay, so the end, what do we have? This is spermatids. And again, these are what? Haploid. So now let's see the options. Spermatogonia. Secondary polar body. Secondary polar, polar body is there in oogenesis. Primary polar body. No. We have spermatid. Now spermatid, as I told you, it comes at the end. At the end, it is obviously haploid, half the number of chromosome, because this spermatid is the one that is going to undergo certain changes in itself and form the spermatozoa. Spermatozoa spermatozoa, and the egg basically has to fuse, so it has to be half the number of chromosomes. Now when the half the number of chromosomes comes together, it becomes 46. 23, 23, 46. So basically spermatid has no option, it's a kid. Spermatid, kid. You can just remember like that. It's just half the number of chromosome, does not have full number of chromosome. So spermatogonia has the pardada and it has what? Diploid number of chromosomes, and also primary spermatocyte has diploid number of chromosome. Why? Because it is just undergoing growth and differentiation, nothing else. Okay. So the correct answer for this will be spermatogonia. This came in the year 2015 and this was a cancelled question. Okay. Done with the question number 4. Going ahead, what do we have? The secretory phase in the human menstrual cycle is also called. Before going ahead, I want you to calculate your how many of the questions were you able to do. Now, the questions which you were not able to do, what are you going to do there, children? Just put a star mark and write retry. What are you going to do? Put a star mark and write retry. You are not going to retry right now after I explain things. No. After 2 days, 3 days, you try to retry the same question. Then I want to see what is the answer that comes in. That's how you need to revise. Okay. Now, the secretory phase in the human menstrual cycle is also called. Okay. There are certain phases. The first one is the menstrual phase, where the menstruation takes place, where the blood flow goes down. Yeah. Then comes what? Follicular phase, when the follicles are developing basically, and it is also known as proliferative phase, because the endometrium which just shed down is now reforming again. This is proliferating. Okay, so this is the proliferating phase, and then comes ovulation. There is ovulatory phase, and then comes something which is known as luteal phase. Okay, luteal phase, because here after ovulation the Graafian follicle will be transformed to corpus luteum, which is why it is known as luteal phase. And this corpus luteum will be giving out what? Progesterone, and this progesterone will make the endometrium line even more thicker. And now, since the ovulation has happened, the ovum is outside, secondary oocyte is basically outside. Now to receive this particular endometrium thickens because of progesterone, and it secretes lots and lots of glycogen, just a second. Yes, glycogen. Okay. I hope I'm not wrong there. If I'm wrong, I'll correct it. Okay. So basically, yeah, glycogen is being released, which is why it is known as secretory phase. There's lots of secretion happening from the endometrial layer. Yeah. And now, it is also known as luteal phase, because corpus luteum is the one that makes everything, right? So, and for how many days does it last? For how many days does it last, this particular phase? The secretory phase in the human menstrual cycle is also called luteal phase and lasts for about 6 days. Follicular phase and lasts for about 6 days. Luteal phase again and lasts for about 13 days. The follicular phase and lasts for about 13 days. So it is the luteal phase and it lasts for about 13 days. It will be lasting for 13 days, after which slowly everything will be going down. Okay. So this is the correct answer. On the 14th day again, the cycle will be beginning. Okay, the menstruation will be happening. So I hope you got this. Going ahead, what do we have? This is not working. Yeah, the main function of the mammalian corpus luteum is to produce. I just told now. So I told you there is something that is known as Graafian follicle. Okay, children, what is it? There is Graafian follicle. Now this Graafian follicle, no children, what happens to this Graafian follicle? Basically, it has the secondary oocyte within it. Oocyte. Now, during ovulation, the secondary oocyte will come off, but this Graafian follicle's body, rest of the body stays the same. Now, this Graafian follicle will be converted to something that is known as corpus luteum. Whatever remnant is there, it is known as corpus luteum. And corpus luteum basically, since now the egg is released over here, the primary spermatocyte is released, it can any time undergo fertilization and then it can become a zygote and then an embryo and everything. So you need to provide this particular embryo that will be formed, if it is formed, enough amount of nutrition. right, a place to stay. So basically the corpus luteum fatafat, it says that okay, what should we do? Please increase the level of progesterone. Please increase the level of progesterone and estrogen, but mainly progesterone, so that the endometrium line could get thickened, and this particular thing, the fertilization, if it happens, it can come and rest on this and develop further. Okay, so basically the major role of it is to produce what? Progesterone. Estrogen is also produced, but again, if this is the option that you are getting, then it will be definitely progesterone itself, because the option, as I say, estrogen only, no, it is progesterone and estrogen is comparatively lesser. Human chorionic gonadotropin, no. Human chorionic gonadotropin comes later. It is the one that helps in sustenance of corpus luteum if at all the fertilization has happened. We'll come to that. Relaxin, again, it is something released by the ovary and it has nothing to do with this. Okay, and it is relaxin basically relaxes the muscles of the uterus while the baby moves out, so that the baby can easily move out. Yeah. Now the correct answer will be what? Progesterone. I hope you got it. And this came in the year 2014. Now, which one of the following statement is incorrect about menstruation? Okay, let's see. At menopause in the female, there is especially abrupt increase in gonadotrophic hormones. What do you mean by gonadotrophic hormones? Remember GnRH released by the hypothalamus. There is hypothalamus in our brain, right, which is the main controller of everything. So this hypothalamus is the one that is responsible for the release of GnRH. This GnRH goes and acts on the pituitary, and now the pituitary will be giving rise to FSH and LH. It will produce FSH and LH. What pituitary? Anterior pituitary. Okay. Now basically, at menopause in the female, menopause as in what? When menses is stopping, that is menstruation stops completely. There is especially abrupt increase in the gonadotrophic hormones. Well, the use of gonadotrophic hormones, for example FSH, is to make the follicles grow and mature. Now, if menopause is happening, do we need FSH as of now? Obviously no. So if FSH is not there, okay, why is it not there? Probably because it is not getting the signal from this particular guy itself. So can there be an increase in GnRH, children? Can there be an increase in GnRH? No. Okay, if normal menstruation during the adulthood time, when GnRH is there, because of this only anterior pituitary will be releasing FSH and LH. This FSH will be making the follicles mature and the egg release later on, both of them together make the egg release, and then the fertilization, if it does not happen, the blood flows down, again a new follicle will be generated because of the GnRH. But at menopause in the female, if it is increasing, then probably menopause will never happen. So it has to stop. There won't be increase, there won't be abrupt increase in the gonadotrophic hormones. So the first point itself we got the answer, but still we will read the next points as well. The beginning of the cycle of menstruation is called menarche. It is known as menarche. Okay. During normal menstruation, about 40 ml blood is lost. Yes, 40 ml blood is actually lost. So now children usually get confused with this, because this is a very complicated things, and mostly people tend to believe that complicated things are always real. So basically no, it is not actually true. This is true. It is about 40 ml of blood that is being lost, and the menstrual fluid can easily clot as well. Okay, otherwise it will be just going around. That's all. So basically the correct answer for this will be A. Okay, this will be A, and I hope why you got that. Okay, because all of them is interlinked, and FSH is responsible for follicles growth, and we do not want follicle growth. Now menopause has happened. So basically, if this has to stop, then that has to stop. If this has to stop, then this also has to decrease, sorry. Going ahead with the 8th question, children. Which of the following events is not associated with ovulation in human female? So just remember ovulation. What happens in ovulation? There will be too much amount of estrogen being released just before, okay? And this estrogen gives a positive feedback to LH, and there will be an FSH, but LH increases. Now when LH increases, what happens when LH increases? The Graafian follicle, it bursts open and releases what? This particular secondary oocyte, or what we call it ovum also. This process is known as ovulation. Okay, so at this particular point, what are things are there? Release a secondary oocyte. Yes, release of secondary oocyte is there. This is secondary oocyte. LH search. Yes, LH is being increasing. Decrease in estradiol. Let's not talk about that. Okay. Full development of Graafian follicle. Obviously, full development of Graafian follicle will be there, which is why this is being released, right? So, the option that you do not know, you can just mark it over here. So, this is not associated with ovulation. Rest everything it is associated with ovulation. This came in the year 2015. Isn't it easy? Tell me, isn't it easy for you to understand things now after we are done with the concepts? I pretty believe that it is comparatively easier for you now. Yeah? Going ahead, which one of the following is the correct matching of the events occurring during menstrual cycle? So we have to find what, children? Correct matching. So whenever you do question, no, please understand what that they are asking. Incorrect or correct. So mostly people get confused between incorrect and correct, and sometimes it becomes too complicated. The question is complicated such that the child does not understand. So what can you do at this point of time? Just underline what they are asking so that you remember that this is what they are asking. Nothing else. Okay. So you have to find the correct matching. Proliferative phase is where the rapid regeneration of myometrium and maturation of Graafian follicle happens. Now, thinking that proliferative phase is also known as follicular phase, you go with this thing that, yeah, maturation of Graafian follicle does happen there. The follicles are getting matured. But children, they also told one more thing, rapid regeneration of myometrium. Remember, the uterus basically has three layers. The outer layer is perimetrium. Then comes in between what? Myometrium, and the innermost layer is endometrium, PME, right? Now over here, the endometrium is the one that has to regenerate. Myometrium is made up of muscles. Does it have to undergo rapid regeneration? I don't think so. It never flows down to get regenerated. So it is endometrium that has to get regenerated. So this is wrong. Secretory phase means development of corpus luteum happens and increased secretion of progesterone. Okay, let's keep it on hold. Next, menstruation. Breakdown of myometrium and ovum not fertilized. Well, yes, ovum is not fertilized for sure, which is why the poor endometrium which waits for the ovum and the sperm to get fertilized, okay, to fuse together, does not happen. So, the unfertilized ovum as well as the endometrium layer, it sheds down. But here, it is written as myometrium. Is it right or wrong? Obviously, again, it is a wrong statement. Okay? Going ahead, ovulation is something where LH and FSH attain peak level and sharp fall in the secretion of progesterone. No, children. No. Why will there be a sharp fall in the secretion of progesterone? As of now, there was nothing. Progesterone was just normal. LH got increased. LH got increased during ovulation. Corpus luteum is formed. Now, the progesterone will slowly start what? Increasing. There will be an increase rather than decrease. So, this is also wrong. The correct answer for this question is this. That is, secretory phase is when the corpus luteum develops and there will be, as I said, corpus luteum will be forming what? Progesterone. This came in the year 2009. Okay, and we are on the 9th question. Can we go ahead? Hopefully, yes. Extrusion of the second polar body from the egg occurs. Now, second polar body from the egg occurs when? Tell me. Simultaneously with the first cleavage, after the entry of sperm, but before fertilization, after fertilization, before entry of sperm into the ovum. This came in the year 2019 as well as 1993. So, second polar body, if you remember, inside the Graafian follicle, no children, there is secondary oocyte. Okay, what is it? Secondary oocyte. This secondary oocyte, no, it has to undergo meiosis. It is stuck in what? Metaphase 2 of meiosis. It is stuck in what? Metaphase 2 of meiosis 2. Metaphase 2 of meiosis 2. But when fertilization happens, okay, after fertilization it happens, what happens? This particular secondary oocyte will be dividing into the ovum that we were all waiting for, and also the second, as it written over here, the second polar body. This is of not much use, so basically we are looking forward to this, right? So this has to happen. So, extrusion of the second polar body from the egg occurs when? A, B, C or D? You tell me. We have this and we have this. When does the extrusion happen? That is the question, right? So, over here simultaneously with the first cleavage. What do you mean by first cleavage? Basically when there is a zygote being formed and this zygote divides into two. That is the first cleavage, okay? After the entry of sperm but before fertilization. So, fertilization has not taken place but this entry of sperm has happened. Now, after fertilization, after the whole process is done, before entry of sperm into the ovum. What is the correct answer? The correct answer is B. After the entry of sperm but before fertilization. So, after fertilization obviously it cannot happen, okay? Just you only think after fertilization, what is the use of ovum? Ovum should be there before fertilization, right? So, it will be this thing. I hope you got it. That is the correct answer. That is how we can frame the correct answers as well. Just think for some time. Going ahead with the 11th question. The difference between spermiogenesis and spermiation is. So, in the process of spermatogenesis, okay, in the process of spermatogenesis, as I told you before, there is spermatogonia, children. These undergo differentiation to form primary spermatocyte. This starts the meiotic division and forms what? Two secondary spermatocytes. So, I am not just writing, I am just writing secondary spermatocyte, two of them, okay. This is meiosis 1. Now, again they will be continuing dividing it and you get spermatids. How many? This is a spermatid, this is a spermatid, and this is also a spermatid. The spermatid is kind of round in structure, it cannot move. And how we have seen the sperm, that it has a long tail and everything, right? So, there is a transformation phase, okay, where the spermatids that you see form something that is transformed into something that is known as spermatozoa. This transformation from spermatids, kids, to zoa, it is known as spermiogenesis. It will be known as what? Spermiogenesis. And what is the meaning of spermiation? By following this, the spermatozoa will be going and going to the Sertoli cells and then later moving out. It will be moving out of the seminiferous tubules. Okay, that process of moving out of the seminiferous tubules after everything is done, it is known as spermiation. So, over here, if you see the option, let's see what matches the first thing. So, spermatids to spermatozoa transformation is known as spermiogenesis. Later, when it moves outside, it is known as spermiation. Okay, so in spermiogenesis, spermatids are formed, while spermiogenesis means spermatids are formed, okay, while in spermiation spermatozoa are formed. Again, it is totally wrong. There is nothing like spermatids are formed during spermiogenesis, never. In spermiogenesis spermatozoa are formed, okay, true, while in spermiation spermatids are formed. Why? No, spermatids are already formed during meiosis. Okay, in spermiogenesis spermatozoa from Sertoli cells are released into the cavity of seminiferous tubules. This was spermiogenesis. There is genesis means something is getting formed, and here zoa is getting formed, right? So, but here in spermiogenesis spermatozoa from Sertoli cells are released into the cavity of seminiferous tubules. No, it is just the formation of what? Spermatozoa. While in spermiation spermatozoa are again formed. This is totally wrong. Now, in spermiogenesis spermatozoa are formed. Okay, agree. While in spermiation, spermatozoa are released from the Sertoli cells into the cavity of the seminiferous tubules. This is the exact thing that I said, right? Genesis means formation of what? Zoa over here. Spermatogenesis, spermiogenesis different. Spermio comes over here. When there is spermatids to spermatozoa conversion, that is known as spermiogenesis. After which you have what? Spermiation. Okay. So, this is the correct answer, that is the D option, and this came in the year 2018, not very far away. Yeah. Done with that as well. Going ahead with the 12th question that we have. No new follicles develop in the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle because they are saying that there won't be development of what? Follicles, new follicles. New follicles won't be forming in the luteal phase. Where does the luteal phase come? One is the menstrual phase. Then it is the follicular phase, then is the luteal phase, and they are saying in the luteal phase there won't be follicles that will be formed. Why? Follicles do not remain in the ovary after ovulation. Hooray! After ovulation there will be so many follicles in the ovary. There is only one follicle that got matured and it attained the largest peak, that is it became a Graafian follicle, right, and it underwent ovulation, but other follicles are still there. So this is wrong. No. FSH levels are high in the luteal phase. Do you think that the FSH levels are high in the luteal phase? Let me remind you. In the luteal phase you saw LH surge happened, Graafian follicle, it released the spermatocyte. What is left? Corpus luteum is left. Corpus luteum gives out what? Progesterone for maintaining the endometrium layer. This progesterone basically goes and acts on GnRH and says, hey, stop your secretions, stop your commands. So it does not go to the anterior pituitary and say release FSH or LH. It does not go and say that release FSH or LH, because there is a negative feedback that is going. It is saying to stop. Now if FSH is not there, do you think that the follicles can generate? No, because FSH is the follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, so FSH are high in the luteal phase? Absolutely wrong. Okay, it cannot be true. LH levels are high in the luteal phase. Again, that is something strong. Okay. Both FSH and LH levels are low in the luteal phase. That is something right, because progesterone, mama is saying that GnRH, beta, you stop. Okay, so which is why both of them will be lowering down, and this is the correct answer that we have. That is the D option. This came in the year 2019. Again, not very far. Okay, this is 12th question that we have. Going ahead. Question number 13, identify the correct statement on inhibin. So we studied about inhibin, right? We studied about inhibin. It was something that is released by the granulosa cells only. What are granulosa cells? If you remember, if for example there is secondary oocyte, surrounding it there are different follicles, right? And these follicles are made up of what? Certain cells. What do you call these certain cells as, children? These are known as granulosa cells. Okay, and what does the granulosa cells do, children? Granulosa cells are the ones that are responsible for releasing what? Inhibin. This inhibin will be going and acting on FSH and saying that, hey, stop. But why? Why does it happen? So basically what happens is that when follicle stimulating hormone is there, FSH there will be multiple follicles that will be getting stimulated. They will all start growing. But do we want multiple? No, we just want one secondary oocyte, right? So any one should be doing that. So the dominant one that is going to be dominant will be releasing more amount of inhibin with the help of the granulosa cells, and now this inhibin will be saying that, hey FSH, please stop your secretion, please lower down your secretion a bit. Now when it says to lower down the secretion a bit, obviously it won't be lower, it will be lowering down, and what will happen? Now it won't be affecting this follicle and this follicle. There will be only one follicle that will be going ahead. Okay, and all the other follicles, they won't be going ahead in this particular cycle. I hope you got it. So, identify the correct statement on inhibin. It is produced by granulosa cells in the ovary. Okay. And inhibits the secretion of LH. No. Is produced by nerve cells in the testis. Obviously, and the first statement itself, nerve cells in the testis. No. Do we need that? No. As of now, no. Nerve cells inhibits the secretion of LH. Next thing that we have, inhibits the secretion of LH, FSH and prolactin. No. I will tell you one more thing, inhibin is there in the testes as well, but this is not the function that is written over here. Okay. Now D, it is produced by granulosa cells in the ovary and inhibits the secretion of FSH. Yes, this is what we were searching for. Why? Because one has to be dominant, others do not want to be dominant over there. That is why. So 2016 the question came, and this is question number 13. Going ahead with the next question that we have, match the following columns and select the correct options. Column 1 and column 2 we have. Okay, placenta is something that we have not studied yet, so let's keep it on hold. Going ahead, zona pellucida. So zona pellucida is a layer that is formed around the secondary oocyte. Outside that, what do we have? We have corona radiata. Okay, and and then outside that there will be so many granulosa cells, and depending on what all stages you have different names. So basically zona pellucida and everything appears better in the graphene follicle stage. Okay, so let's see. Zona pellucida, it is the layer of the ovum. So B goes with 3. Bulbourethral gland, you know that bulbourethral gland is the accessory gland. We just studied about this now also in the males, right? And what do? They provide lubrication to the penis. Now D, Leydig cells. Leydig cells, if you remember, where are the Leydig cells present, children? So assume that this is a testicular lobule. 250 of them we have. Inside that there will be seminiferous tubules. This is one seminiferous tubule, this is second seminiferous tubule. There is space in between. In the space that you see over here, there will be cells. What do you call these cells? As Leydig cells. What are they responsible for? They are responsible for producing the male hormones together, which you call as what? Androgen. Okay, so basically this. What are we left with? So even if you do not know about placenta as of now, you can just come out with the conclusion that it has to do something with human chorionic gonadotrophin. Yeah, basically yes, you can remember it now. Placenta is something that releases what? HCG or human chorionic gonadotrophin. Placenta occurs when the lady is pregnant, right? So HCG is also a hormone which is present only when a lady is pregnant, and this HCG is the one that is responsible for when the pregnancy test is made, right, with the help of the strip. So why does the strip and everything appears? It checks if there is a presence of human chorionic gonadotrophin. So since HCG is only there in pregnant women, it will be indicated. Okay, now let's see the options. A has to go with 2. A has to go with 2, so there is only this one. Let's see next. B has to go with 3. Okay. C has to go with 4. Yes, it is correct. So this is the correct answer. So children, while checking the answers like this, no, correct for all, check the all options. It's not like one option is correct and then you go tick. No. Sometimes you could miss. This could be 2 over here as well. Then what will you do? There will be a problem, right? So you please check thoroughly before going ahead. Now this is question number 14 from 2020. Going ahead with question number 15, and now we have 15 more questions. Just 15 more questions. Match the column 1 with column 2 and select the correct options using the given codes. Column 1 is this, column 2 is that. Okay, A, B, C, D. Over here we have mons pubis. So mons pubis, we didn't hear about it, right, until now. Mons pubis is the external genitalia of the female body. It is a cushion of fatty tissue which has hair and skin on it, right? So mons pubis is a part of female external genitalia. Antrum, if you remember, antrum is the cavity, fluid-filled cavity which is present in the tertiary follicle as well as the graphene follicle. So there is primary follicle, there is secondary follicle. Primary follicle is when you have the oocyte and then granulosa cells. Okay, that is primary follicle. Secondary follicle, it will have multiple granulosa cells. Not just this layer, there will be more layers of granulosa cells. Tertiary follicle, where there will be an antrum being seen in the follicle. Okay, there will be secondary, there will be oocyte and there will be granulosa cells and also this cavity and also theca layer. There will be theca layer. Here also there is theca layer. No. So basically, no. Basically over here, let me say, over here you have antrum. Over here you have antrum. Please remember that. Over here you have theca layer as of I remember, and here also you have theca layer, inner layer and outer layer. Okay, and then comes what? The graphene follicle. Graphene follicle. So as a teacher, it's not very easy to remember everything, but yes, we definitely try to. So antrum is the fluid-filled cavity that comes over here in the tertiary follicle itself, but it is also there in the graphene follicle, and this time the antrum will be much more bigger. So the antrum is there over here as well, and this time it will be bigger. So antrum, let's see, it is here, the graphene follicle. Now, okay, trophoectoderm, let's just keep it aside. Okay, we have not studied about it as of now. Nibenkern, if you remember when I was talking about sperm, okay, when I was talking about sperm, in the middle piece there are bands of what? Mitochondria. What do you call these bands as? Basically Nibenkern. Okay, and Nibenkern has lots of mitochondria, so it's there in the sperm. So obviously trophoectoderm will be there for embryo formation. So mons pubis is 3. A is 3. So you have 3, 3, 3. Let's go ahead. Antrum is basically 4. Antrum is 4. So you have these two options now. Now let's see C. Trophectoderm is embryo formation. C is 1. So this has to be option. Nebenkern is there for sperm. So this is the correct U. Sometimes I get over enthusiastic when I get the answers. Yes. So, yes. Done? Let's go ahead. Given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion A and the other is labeled as reason R. Assertion. FSH acts upon ovarian follicles in the female and the Leydig cells in male. FSH acts on the ovarian follicles in females and Leydig cells in males. Is it true? If you remember FSH, okay. FSH is there, LH is there, GnRH is there, right? LH goes and act on the Leydig cells and then it produces androgens. FSH acts on the Sertoli cells and it produces what? It basically helps in the secretion of ABP, androgen binding protein, so that all the androgen that is being released over here will come and stay at one place and the whole process of spermatogenesis happens. So which is why ABP is being produced. So this is the case. Now the question is, FSH acts on the ovarian follicles, it's okay. And the Leydig cells in the male, it is not okay. So if FSH is not acting on the Leydig cell, LH is acting on the Leydig cell. How can you remember it? L for LH and Leydig cell has also an L. Okay. So this is wrong. Assertion is wrong. Okay. Just false. Reason. Growing ovarian follicle secretes estrogen in female while interstitial cells secrete androgen in male. How? Like for understanding this concept, you should be pro in male reproductive system, in female reproductive system and everything. Oogenesis also. So without this, you are not going to so you see how the question is being framed over here. I'll tell you, it's easy and I'm pretty sure you were able to do it. Growing ovarian follicles secrete estrogen. Yes, the follicles, they definitely secrete estrogen as I told you, and this estrogen when it attains a peak level, it gives rise to what? LH surge, right? So growing follicles is definitely releasing estrogen. Now, interstitial cells secrete androgen. What is interstitial cell? I just revised right now. There is testicular lobules, seminiferous tubules. In between that, you have cells. You call them Leydig cells or you call them interstitial cell. It's the same thing. It is the interstitial space, in between space. So interstitial cell. Now what it will release, children? It will release androgen. Leydig cell will also releasing androgen. This guy will also release androgen, right? So follicles are releasing estrogen. Yeah. Interstitial cell or Leydig cells are releasing androgen. This is true. So reason is true. Let's see. So assertion is false, reason is true. Assertion is false, reason is true. It is the B option. Now you tell me, if you are missing out any concept, will you be able to answer this question? No. When you are not answering this question, you are losing 4 marks. Right? You are losing 4 marks. And I think this came in 2024, which is why the year is not mentioned. Yeah. So I hope this question is very much clear to you. Going ahead. 17th question. Identify the correct option A, B, C, D with respect to spermatogenesis. Okay. GnRH, it is going to give. So since I have to complete this, rather than seeing the option, I will just start from here itself. Okay. GnRH, I know anterior pituitary reacts on and it gives LH and FSH. So this has to be FSH. Okay. Now LH will act on something and it will give androgens. What is that something? Leydig cell or interstitial cell? No, L, remember. So this will be Leydig. Now FSH will act on something that will release some factors. What are these factors? ABP, I told you, right? Androgen binding proteins. But what is it acting on? It has to be Sertoli cells. Remember, Sertoli cells are the one that will be giving out. And the factors will later help in what? Spermatogenesis, or basically it also helps in spermatogenesis and all the process. Okay, so let's see how can we fit things in. A is FSH. A is FSH. Okay, A, B, C, D in the order it is written, no? So A is FSH, this is an option, this is an option. These both obviously get cancelled. Now, second one, B should be Leydig cell. Can it be Sertoli cell over here? Can B should be Sertoli cell? No, no way. So this will be Sertoli cell. Now, C should be Leydig cell or Sertoli cell. It should be Sertoli cell. So, am I getting confused? Just a second. Okay, wait. C is Sertoli cell. And okay, this, oh my god, how can I do this? Listen, this is when I become a part of you also. I also act like this, so don't worry. So, first is FSH. Let's start afresh. FSH is there. Cool. B is Leydig cell. This is Leydig cell. Okay. C is Sertoli. C is Sertoli. And then D is spermiogenesis. D is spermiogenesis. This is the correct answer. Why A is not the correct answer, children? Why A is not the correct answer? FSH. Okay. Sertoli cell? No way. Leydig cell? No way. Spermatogenesis? But okay, spermiogenesis is much better. So this is the process that has to happen, that has to take place, and spermiogenesis definitely needs ABP, that is androgen binding protein around it, because the testosterone, the androgen is needed there for spermiogenesis to happen, for the spermatids to get converted into or transform into spermatozoa. So this is the correct answer. This came in the year 2024, previous year. Okay. Going ahead, what do we have? 18th question. In the human female, menstruation can be deferred by the administration of. Menstruation. You want to defer menstruation. You don't want that now. You want to change the cycle of menstruation. So, it can be done by the administration of what? What? Options. Combination of FSH and LH. Combination of estrogen and progesterone. FSH only and LH only. Menstruation will be only referred if the amount of estrogen and progesterone it falls. Okay, when both of them they fall. Now the endometrium lining which was there because of the progesterone, it would now not be there, and the estrogen, which is why this will fall down. Menstruation will happen. Now if you want to bring out any changes in menstruation, obviously the combination of estrogen and progesterone should be administered, then only the menstruation cycle will be deferred. Now I'll tell you one more thing if you have doubt in this. As of now we studied corpus luteum, progesterone. Yeah, progesterone says gives a negative in to GnRH, and now GnRH will stop producing FSH and LH, right? So this is negative, 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 negative. Now when LH is not there, corpus luteum, can it be there? No. So slowly it is actually making a pit for itself, progesterone. So slowly corpus luteum won't be there. If corpus luteum is not there, progesterone won't be there. If progesterone is not there, the blood will be slowly shed down. Okay. So the correct answer for this will be, children, okay, combination of estrogen and progesterone are the ones that is responsible for maintaining the cycle, for maintaining the endometrial layer. Now if it is not there, menstruation can happen anytime. So any difference you have to make in the body regarding menstruation, please just give the just have the administration of this thing. That is the question. Okay, that is not something that I am asking you to do. Please don't do that. Yes. Now question number 19 that has come in the year 2019. Select the correct sequence for the transport of sperm cells in male reproductive system. This is so interesting. I think we did this. Let's see. Testis, seminiferous tubules. Okay, everything seems okay now, because inside the testis you have the seminiferous tubules and everything, right? So testis, epididymis, vasa efferentia. Wrong. Vasa efferentia comes before epididymis, so this is wrong. Testis, epididymis, vasa efferentia, again wrong. Seminiferous tubules, rete testis, seminiferous tubules. Inside the testicular lobule, seminiferous tubules, then rete testis, then vasa efferentia, okay, then epididymis, then vas deferens. This is the correct option, but let's see. Vas deferens, and then ejaculatory duct, and then urethra. Yes. Okay, there will be seminal vesicle and everything, then ejaculatory duct, then urethra, then urethral meatus, that is the opening of the urethra. This is the correct option, but let's see the next option. Seminiferous tubules, vasa efferentia, seminiferous tubules, vasa efferentia, epididymis, inguinal canal, and then urethra. Now that is a part. What is the correct sequence of transport of sperm cells in the male reproductive system? If you're talking about the accessory ducts, if you're just talking about the accessory ducts, then it has to be the C option itself. Okay, but then inguinal canal and everything is also true. What is inguinal canal, if you remember? Okay, this is a space. So your scrotum is over here, in which the testis and everything is located, right? Now the testis is connected to the upper body with the help of this area that is known as inguinal canal. So during childbirth, the testis which was there inside the body comes down in this scrotum. Okay, so seminiferous tubules, vasa efferentia, epididymis, inguinal canal, and urethra. Seminiferous tubules, rete testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis, vas deferens, ejaculatory duct, urethra, urethral meatus. This is the correct option because it has everything in there. Okay, so this is came in 2019, though it is very confusing, but yeah. Okay, so this is the correct answer that you have. Going ahead, what do we have? Question number 20 that came in 2020. Meiotic division of secondary oocyte is completed prior to ovulation, at the time of copulation, after zygote formation, at the time of fusion of a sperm with an ovum. So you tell me. So meiotic division of secondary oocyte, again secondary oocyte, ovum, and then what we have? Second polar body. Okay, this is secondary oocyte. It is completed prior to ovulation. Can it happen prior to ovulation? No, it happens only during fertilization. At the time of copulation, after zygote formation. After zygote formation, if it happens, then how will zygote form? Ovum is needed, right? So this is wrong. At the time of fusion of sperm with an egg, ovum. At the time of fusion of sperm with an ovum. So this could be correct. Okay, this could be correct. But at the time of copulation, obviously every time copulation happens, we cannot be sure that it will be going and fusing, the sperm is going to fuse with the egg or not. So the correct option will be this, but obviously before fertilization it can happen. At the time of fusion of sperm with an ovum. Okay, so meiotic division actually happens when the sperm comes in, the ovum, sperm gets inside the ovum, and over here as of now secondary oocyte is getting divided into ovum and the polar body. So this is the scenario. So that some sperm basically enters and it can directly go and fuse with the ovum. So this should be the correct option. It came in the year 2020. Yeah, who all got this option correct? Who all got this option correct? Please put down in the comment section. I want to see. Now that is a tricky question, that's why. The middle piece of the sperm contain proteins, mitochondria, centriole, and the nucleus. So if you remember, middle piece of the sperm has the bands or niburcan, right? And it has so many mitochondria. So this is the correct answer. Okay. Below it you have the distal centriole. Above it in the neck region you have the proximal centriole as well. So that is something else, but mitochondria for sure is the correct answer. That is there in the middle piece. It came in the year 1999. 2024 question. Ovulation in the human female normally takes place during the menstrual cycle. This is not from 2024. Don't know why it came. It has to be 2014 something. Okay. Anyways, ovulation in the human female normally takes place during the menstrual cycle at the mid secretory phase, just before the end of secretory phase. So again, this is what? End phase, menstrual phase, then comes proliferative phase or follicular phase, and then comes luteal phase or secretory phase. So let's see. And ovulation will happen over here. So at the mid of secretory phase, no ways. Okay, this is wrong. Just before the end of secretory phase, no. This is also wrong. At the beginning of the proliferative phase, no. Over here it cannot, because the follicles are just maturing, right? So no. At the end of the proliferative phase, yes, this is the correct answer. D is the correct answer. Yes. Okay. Going ahead, what do we have? 23rd question. The second maturation division of the mammalian ovum occurs. The second maturation division of the mammalian ovum occurs shortly after ovulation, before the ovum makes entry into the fallopian tube. Second maturation division, what do you mean by that? Okay, that is basically your meiotic division, second meiotic division. That is the question. By this, do not get confused by anything else. Okay, so shortly after ovulation, before the ovum makes an entry into the fallopian tube, this has to be wrong. Okay, it won't happen until fertilization for sure. Until after the ovum has been penetrated by a sperm, until the nucleus of the sperm has fused with that of the ovum. Okay, in the Graafian follicle following the first maturation division, obviously no, obviously it does not happen in the Graafian follicle. In the Graafian follicle, they burst open to give the secondary oocyte, which later has to undergo what, say, fertilization, right? So now over here you have two options, B and C. Now C, you can just blindly just make it wrong. Why? Until the nucleus of the sperm has fused with that of the ovum. Ovum is not found yet. Second maturation division of the mammalian ovum means it is not mammalian ovum, it is the secondary oocyte. Secondary oocyte has to divide into two to make ovum and the polar body, the second polar body. So over here, how can it fuse when it is not being formed? So this is again wrong. Until after the ovum has been penetrated by a sperm. So now penetration happens, the sperm penetrates into the ovum, and then that is a secondary oocyte. By ovum they mean secondary oocyte. Now the secondary oocyte will undergo meiotic division to form the actual ovum and the polar body. This is the correct answer. B. Okay, I hope it is very, very, very much clear to you. This is 23rd question. It came in the year 2010. Which part of the ovary in mammals acts as an endocrine gland after ovulation? We all know that. Stroma, the terminal epithelium, vitelline membrane, Graafian follicle. It is the Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle, after bursting, forms what? Corpus luteum. Corpus luteum forms progesterone. I'll write it. It will be producing progesterone and estrogen. Works? Works for you? This came in the year 2007 and this is the 24th. Moving ahead with the next question. Question number 25th. In the fertile human female, okay, this is female. I'll just correct it. Okay, approximately on which day of the menstrual cycle does ovulation take place? So you know the cycle usually lasts for up to 28 days. For up to what? 28 days. Now at the middle of the cycle does ovulation take place? So do you see from this end or that end? So this end means it is the menstrual phase over here. You have the menstrual phase, then proliferative phase, then the luteal phase. So whenever you count the 14th day, no, this can vary in women some days, which is why the days could be longer. But generally, you should be counting from the backwards. So basically, luteal phase itself is for 14 days. So we can say on the day 14th over here is when the menstruation, or basically, so not the menstruation, the ovulation actually take place. So it will be day 14, not day 18, not day 1, not day 8. Okay, it will be day 14, always from the backside. In the middle of the cycle, the ovulation will be happening when the LH surge takes place. I hope it's clear. Look, you see there are so many questions from menstrual cycles. You obviously cannot miss this topic for sure. Yeah, that's all. Let's go to the next question. 26th. Secretions from which one of the following are rich in fructose, calcium and some enzymes? You know it. Which of them will be having high amount of fructose? Which will of the secretions? Male accessory glands, liver, pancreas and salivary glands. Obviously we are doing reproduction chapter. So it is male accessory glands. Okay, how many of them? Seminal plasma, seminal vesicle, okay, seminal vesicle, then prostate gland, then bulbo-urethral gland. 3 of them are there. 1, 2, 3. They are responsible for seminal plasma formation. Okay. and it is rich in calcium, fructose and the enzymes. So this has to be the correct answer. Okay. Sertoli cells are found in A. Ovaries and secrete progesterone. Ovaries? Sertoli cells? I don't think so. Adrenal cortex and secretes adrenaline? No way. Seminiferous tubules and produce nutrition to the germ cells. Pancreas and secrete cholecystokinin? No. So it is seminiferous tubules and provide nutrition to the germ cell. So seminiferous tubules basically has two things. Mother cell, gamete mother cell, which is going to form the gamete. Okay. That is the spermatogonia will be there. Apart from that, there will be Sertoli cells or nurse cells which is going to provide nourishment to this spermatogonia. So this is the correct answer. That is the C option that you have over here, and this came in the year 2010. Okay, this came in the year 2010 and this is the 27th question. Going ahead. 28th. After ovulation, Graafian follicle regresses into, you know the answer. It will be regressing into what? Corpus atriaceum, corpus callosum, corpus luteum, corpus albigans. It will be corpus luteum. Now if the question came, no children, if you think of, I taught you, right? Corpus luteum, once it degenerates, what will it form? Corpus luteum, once it degenerates, it will be forming corpus albicans. That is something different. So Graafian follicle, when it regresses, it will be regressing into corpus luteum. Now when it regresses, it will be forming corpus albicans. So this is the correct answer. So I'll write it. Corpus luteum, and corpus luteum regresses, it will be forming later on corpus albicans. But this will only happen if pregnancy is not there. If pregnancy is not there, that means fertilization has not occurred. Okay, going ahead. Withdrawal of which of the following hormones is immediate? Is the immediate cause of menstruation. Okay, what hormone, if it is withdrawn, it will lead to menstruation? That is the question. Progesterone, estrogen, FSH and RH. It is written like that. I think it is LH. Okay, so basically, which one is the correct option? It is obviously progesterone. Progesterone is the main hormone for maintaining the endometrium layer. Even though estrogen is there, but progesterone is the main one. And how is progesterone there? Because of the corpus luteum. Okay, this came in the year 2006. Going ahead to question number 30. NEET 2013. In our society, women, okay, so this question I have picked and put it over here. This is nothing related to what you have learned in what I have taught in the topics, but I am pretty sure this is something that we all should be knowing, which is why I put this question over here, and also you studied in your 10th grade. Okay, a little bit of information is needed, that's all. In our society, women are blamed for producing female children. Choose the correct answer for the sex determination in humans. A. Due to some defect like aspermia in man. This is not the way for correct way for sex determination, right? Due to genetic makeup of the particular sperm which fertilizes the egg. Due to genetic makeup of the egg due to some defect in the woman. So basically, I'll explain this answer to you. Women basically has two sex chromosomes. Both of them are X. Both of them are X. So to be a woman, you should be having two X chromosome. Now to be a man, you should be having one X and one Y chromosome. Now, when we talk about sex determination of the babies, so suppose the woman during fertilization, what happens? During the gametogenesis, there will be half number of chromosome. So either this chromosome can come or this chromosome can come in one ovum. Similarly, this chromosome can come in one egg sperm, and this chromosome can come in another sperm, right? So assuming that the sperm carrying X came and fused with the sperm carrying Y, it will be XY. Now XY is for what? Man. So basically this child will be a boy. Now think of the egg carrying X chromosome came and the sperm carrying X chromosome came. Now the sex of the child will be what? Female. It will be a girl child. You tell me, is it dependent on the genetic makeup of the female mother? Because all female, because obviously both the chromosomes are X chromosome. Okay, whatever chromosome it gives is just X chromosome. But on the other hand, when you talk about man, they have X and Y chromosome. So depending on the genetic makeup of the male sperm, it decides whether the sex of the child will be a girl child or it will be a boy child. But is it okay to say anyone like you, this is because of you that the sex of the child is this or that? Whatever it is not okay, because this is how we are made. There is no we cannot blame neither woman nor man for this first thing. But yes, women are being always told about this thing, that they are responsible for the sex of the child. It should not be the case. It is not like that. The genetic makeup of the male sperm, it is responsible for the sex of the child. Now that is a question that came in the NEET 2013 and mostly it comes. Okay, so the correct option is due to the genetic makeup of the particular sperm which fertilizes the egg. If the sperm is carrying X, then the egg always carries X. It will be a girl child. The sperm is carrying Y and the egg is carrying X. Obviously it carries X chromosome, right? So it will be a boy child. So this is the correct answer, B1. I hope you got the answer as well. So with this, we have completed the 30 questions, 30 PYQs in the NPL series, and I'm really proud of you who have watched the whole video, who was with me the whole while. Because you have consistency, you have patience in you, and this patience will be obviously rewarding to you. There are children who can think of like, we'll watch it another day, on some other day when we are free. No, probably we are in this journey together, and this journey is going to be a bit tough, right? We all know. And if you are the person who are studying all things for the first time, then obviously you might have to put a bit more efforts, right? So if you are in this journey, let's be 100% in this journey. And I am pretty sure the people who are 100% in this journey, they only might have watched the whole video. And if you have watched the whole video, I am pretty sure you might be very much confident as well. So with that, I complete the NPL series for today. That was the last thing that I wanted to tell you. Apart from that, if you think that you still have doubts, or is there someone who have got all the answers correct, please not forget to comment it down. Or you lost just one or two questions, just everything is correct, then also do comment. I will really feel good that my children who are studying from me are getting really good scores. And these are all PYQ questions. So obviously this is a very important preparation process for you as well. And yes, do not forget to subscribe the channel if you think that this was useful, and if you're worried about getting the PDF, it will be there in the WhatsApp channel. I'll save it, okay, so you can see the PDF. Now if you have any more doubts lingering around this thing, then also I'm available. Put down in the comment section. I will solve each one of your doubts as well. I hope that you are doing wonderful and this journey is going to be so good and you are just happy about it. You do not have to be panicked about anything. Everything is going to fall in its own place. Yeah, so bye bye. Take care, children.